we going, beautiful people? It's been a while, hasn't it? So, just waiting for everyone to get on. How's everyone been? Had a little bit of time out to do a little bit of soul searching. You know, as you do sometimes, you need to press the pause button. You know, you need to look within and just really start to make some decisions of where you want to go in your life, because you know you can always get caught up doing what you desire to do, but it's actually what you're not wanting to do. So Tracy, how are you, sister, and everyone else? How are we all going? And you know, by pressing the pause button and being able to align for what you desire, it actually gives you a knowing, gives you a power, yeah. And taking, and you know, I always say press the pause button and you want to start to work on your inner arena, yeah? I'm going to use a couple little different words, inner arena, and working on your inner arena is like your inner world. And what you need to understand as well, working on your inner world and on your inner arena, you want to become the superstar of it. So it's a new terminology that I've been studying and really paying respect to, and it's called becoming an edge walker. And what these edge walkers are, they're people that will live on the edge, not for fantasy, not for you know, some sort of adrenaline rush. They're people that they do whatever they need to do and they don't stop, and it becomes a good obsession for what they desire in their life. An edge walker will be the energy which they need to be to attract their goals. An edge walker will be someone that, you know, it's always going to throw you curveballs. You're always going to get people that, you know, don't agree with what you're doing and don't agree with what they're doing. And it's how do you get back on track? It's how you understand to go, okay, cool, this is what's happening around me. All right, if I keep focusing on this, if I keep living at the effect, where is it going to go? How can I be the solution? How do I know to put the right energy in there? Is this serving me? And you ask yourself power questions. More importantly, you do not settle for nothing but greatness, and you do not settle for nothing but 100% fulfillment, because being in pain is a choice, and it doesn't need to be that way. Being in a situation, in a job, in a relationship, in a marriage, in a family, in any environment that doesn't serve you, there's always a choice. And it's up to you to be able to be that edge walker, to always live on the edge, to keep yourself expanding, keep yourself growing, keep yourself moving, to say, okay, what's next? Where I'm at right now, is it serving me, yes or no? And it's asking yourself power questions, but taking power action to be able to move yourself out of that, yeah? Because a lot of people will just settle for, oh, let's just go around, you know, hey Gary, how are you, buddy? You know, it's like the ring around the rosy. So what I've really discovered is knowing what I want and then working backwards and understanding, so if I want this, then who do I need to contact? What resources do I need? What resources do I need to bring in? Who do I need to remove? And more importantly, an edge walker are the people that have great obsessions to becoming the best version of themselves, to not stopping until they expand their consciousness, their understanding with love, with fulfillment, with feeling right. Edge walkers are people that they don't get caught up in the riffraff, the chit chat. They don't get caught up in the, because look, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be around. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to fuck up their lives. There's going to be a lot of people that don't educate themselves, that are in pain, and there's going to be that. But an edge walker is someone that will give you the understanding that you know that if you're around them, you're going to go to the top together. And why I understand this, because guess what? Tomorrow we don't know what's there, yeah? We don't have all the answers. But once you keep walking on the edge, you're growing and expanding, and the answers will come to you. The energy will come to you. The results will come to you. So I always say and find out, well, if I want to get to A to B, and if I'm walking on the edge, that's putting me in a pretty good position to find out who's got A to B. You know, get on the phone, contact, do what you need to do. Because my understanding of what I want to do in this world is, it's an awakening souls, it's an awakening people. Everyone has their own gifts, everyone has their own strengths, everyone has their own understandings of how they see the world and how they model themselves on the world. And being an edge walker is that you're growing every day. You're putting yourself on the edge every day into a place that it's almost not scary but exciting for you to expand, because you need to expand. People that are waiting for you to rise and be that better man, be that better woman, need you to expand as well. But the way you do that is constantly feeding your mind, reading books, educating yourself, knowing what you need to do the 2 steps, program your mind. And there's not many edge walkers on this world, because people would prefer to settle for nothing but exceptional. People will, prefer to stay in their comfort zone. People would prefer to say, look, this is okay, I'll get around to it, I'm not too sure. People would prefer not to master the foundations, and then they want the results, but then they jump to from 1 to 10, and they haven't got, 2 to 8 or 2 to 9. And that's what happens. They go, okay, and then it falls. Then they go, oh shit, how do I do this? I don't know how to do it. I just ran out that way and I wanted to change anything. I wanted a relationship and the rest of it. And what you need to understand is, people, you need to understand how your mind works, because your mind doesn't always tell you the truth, okay? What this means is, if you think a sad thought, you're not a sad person, and then you start thinking, your mind will start bringing other sad, perspectives into your life, and then you go, oh, I am a sad person. Or if you get angry, and then you have an angry thought, and then your mind will start to bring up all these anger, or something might happen. You might have failed a couple of times, not failed, but you might have not got the result a couple of times. So then your mind will unfile all these memories and say, well, do you remember you failed? And then all of a sudden, your emotion gives you a guide. Your emotion is actually a guide of how you need to feel with it. And then if you do not have the right, defiling cabinet or that right memory because of when something didn't go right, and you don't have the right emotion, you start to go, oh, that's right, I'm a failure. Look at the way I'm feeling. Look at what I'm thinking about. And then you will start to concrete that into your personality, into your identity, but it's not true. These are just memories. And then because of certain things that have happened to your life, your mind goes, oh, okay, I remember when this happened. So then what that will do is it will bring that out of the filing cabinet. You will remember it, and then all your emotion is your warning mechanism, and your emotion goes, oh, I remember that, so you feel bad about it. Because you feel bad and you do that, then you start to believe that you are a failure, that you are a sad person, that you are an angry person. But that is not right. Being an edge walker, you are constantly evolving, you are constantly reinventing yourself, you are constantly, what is next for me? Finding information, applying it, teaching it, because this is where people are failing. They will go and spend all this money on seminars, they will read books, they will do courses, they would just take in all this information, but they're not applying it. And how you're applying it is how you show up on a daily basis, is the people you need to connect to, be able to expand your network, your consciousness, for you to be able to do live streams to let people know, you know what, this is who I am, this is my identity, this is the knowledge, this is how I can change your life. Show up, hold 3 talks, get in front of people. Like last weekend we had an amazing workshop. The people that were there, we got a huge transformation, and that's the same as what we're going to be doing obviously this weekend in Perth. So what I say, people, this is it. Become an edge walker. Become that person that, okay, I don't have the goal, I'm going to be in the right energy or in the right state, tell myself the right story and have the right strategy, so then I can participate in who I need to be. Yeah, I can be able to keep growing every day. I can be that person. I can, if I don't have exactly what I want now, I'll eventually know how I want it, and or know how I'll get it, and I will get it. Becoming an edge walker is concentrating on you, not concentrating on who's saying this or who's saying that, concentrating on what fills you up, yeah? Because when you try to fit in, or when you try to be that person of, oh, okay, this is what I need to look like, or this is now I need to say, because I'll be honest with you guys, there are a lot of people out there, leaders, influencers, and coaches, just regurgitating information. They're not leading it. They're not living it. They haven't been through hell and back. They haven't trial and errored it. It is regurgitated information that they read a book, they learn it from someone, and then they're letting people know what they need to know, and they're just telling people. So you see a lot of these male coaches that will brainwash other women about this new consciousness about relationship and, and the divine masculine, feminine, the rest of that. And then you look at them and you go, Do you have this result? Are you living it in your life? Could I put you in any position and you could be able to formulate this knowing? You can't. It's easy to put up a post. It's easy to put up a video. It's easy to tell people what they want to do a live stream. But what you need to understand is that it comes down to the understanding of living it and being an edge walker, of understanding I will walk on the edge every day because I'm going to stretch myself, I'm going to expand myself, and then expanding and stretching and walking on the edge every day, I'm so much further than I was yesterday. And you know, and this is so important because so many people are getting it wrong. So many people are just getting up and allowing other people to steal their time, allowing other people to steal their focus, their direction, and so on and so forth. Being an edge walker is getting up, having a plan, programming your mind, being in control, being selfish to be self-empowered, writing down your goals, doing what you need to do without getting overwhelmed, flustered, and just saying this is too much, and putting it all into perspective and into action on a daily basis. Edge walkers don't worry about yesterday because it's finished, you can't change it. They do not worry about tomorrow because it's not there yet. They understand that what they do today, so the workout that you do today or don't do tomorrow or don't do, is going to show up in the future, yeah? The food, the bad food that you eat or don't eat today is going to show up in the future. The study, the books, the knowledge that you read and apply or don't read and apply is going to show up in the future. So an edge walker will understand to make a decision. I make a bad decision, it's going to show up very badly in the future. I make a good decision, it's going to be able to serve me in the future, yeah? And that's what I want you to remember, that if you take shortcuts today, if you don't eat the right food today, if you hurt yourself or hurt someone today, if you make the wrong decisions today, they're going to show up in the future. So an edge walker will constantly be knowing and understanding of making the right choices, taking the right action, putting the right thoughts and the understanding into their life today because they know it's going to show up in the future. So if you want to be an edge walker, you live today like there's no tomorrow. You get up with a plan. You get up early. The earlier you are, the more conscious or the more awake you are, the bigger and the more time you have throughout the day. The bigger the influence, the more time you have to be able to work on your craft. And that's what an edge walker does. An edge walker will constantly stretch themselves, put themselves in an uncomfortable position, understanding that you are in control of your life, that you are awake. For you to be able to understand what you do today is going to make a difference. You know, if you're not going to contact that person, then you contact them. If you don't know a teaching or something, then you teach it. If you don't normally do this exercise, you do it. And it's constantly expanding yourself, taking yourself to the edge, and you get there and you're like, it gets scary, but you know it expands you. It's taking you out. And what that does is that edge walking technique is constantly expanding you out of your older identity or identity that doesn't serve you. Yeah, and that's what it's about, taking yourself to the edge every day, and then when you're ready, then you can jump into the next step, the new identity and the new, basically, the new forward forecast, I would say, or the new dimension. Yeah, if I don't want to get woo-woo, it's about getting into the new dimension, because if you're not constantly walking to the edge, if you're not walking along the edge, you aren't expanding, you aren't stretching, you aren't taking yourself to that new identity. You aren't forcing yourself to become better. And that's what you need to understand, that, oh, this is a little bit scary, but remember, your mind or your brain, let's say your brain doesn't tell you the truth. Because when something feels not right, it could be that there's a representation of a past experience which your mind is going, oh, okay, so this is a sad thought, this is an angry thought, this is, you know, a fear thought. So I remember that. Yep, cool. I remember when something didn't serve me. I'm going to bring it into my reality, and then all your emotion is a defense mechanism. So it will allow you to feel something, and if it doesn't feel right, then it's saying, hey, that thought that I'm bringing out of the filing cabinet, which no longer serves you, and then you feel this way for it. It doesn't mean because you have a sad thought, you're a sad person. Or it doesn't mean because you fear something, you're a fearful person. Or it doesn't mean because maybe something that you wanted to achieve, you didn't achieve, and it made you feel a certain way of, feeling guilt, sadness, hurt, or pain. So that doesn't make you into that. And all your emotions is doing is just saying, hey, remember that? But that's not who you are. And that's what you need to remember, that feeling isn't real, and you need to understand yourself. The feeling or the emotion that I'm feeling now, is this going to empower me in a way and in enough of a perspective for me to achieve the goal? Because you can remove that. And then what you want to do, you want to be almost into autopilot. Sorry guys, some people don't know how to drive. You want to be able to remove yourself into autopilot and be able to say, well, take out the emotion, bring in the feeling that is going to serve me, bring in the feeling to achieve the goal. Because what I say and what I do, I look at people that are above me, I look at people doing what I want to be doing, yeah? And I look at it and I go, okay, so these people are doing what I desire to be doing. How would they get there? Yes, they've applied themselves, but no one is born greater or lesser. Everyone is born in a way, but it's how you apply yourself. It's how you keep walking to the edge. It's how you keep stretching. It's how you keep growing. It's how you leverage the points. It's how you understand, okay, I am here today to get there. This is how I'm going to get there, so on and so forth. And it's very important because so many times in life, so many people go, okay, look, I'm not going to be able to get there for this reason, and because you're kidding yourself. Your old conditioning is only giving you a replay of your old conditioning, which hasn't served you. And then there's going to be old recycled emotions. So the more you walk to the edge, the more you fill your mind up with great programming, great memories, great emotions. That programming and the old programming, those limiting beliefs that don't even exist, they will no longer even be there. They will no longer exist. And for there, my friends, that's when things start to get special. That's when things start to really get spunky. And that's when you know you're on the right path. So always walk on the edge, always expand yourself, and understand when you're walking on the edge, people, you're expanding that old identity every day. So you're going to be that new identity, you're going to be that new energy, you're going to be that new thought pattern. And eventually there's going to be no such thing as your old conditioning, old programming, because you have constantly moved yourself into a higher perspective and a higher vibration. So have an amazing day, people. I know today's, as people call it, they call it hump day. So take care, go and be that edge walker and go and rock it out. Take care.